And after that, please stand up if this is your first Drupal event ever. Welcome everybody. Let's give a round of applause for all of these people who are first time in a Drupal event. And of course, let's give a big hand for Christian, who organized the first Drupal camp in Turku. And actually, I guess this is the first major event outside Helsinki. So it's a really huge step forward for Drupal in Finland. So thank you, Christian. But today, I'm going to talk about Drupal 8 teaming. But first, I'd like to introduce myself. This is me about 15 years ago building my first website. You can find me with my username, Lauri, and from Twitter with username Lauri, but you have to change the last I for number 1. If you have any questions or you want to bitch or moan or anything for me, just tweet me and I will answer you. But what's new in Drupal 8 teaming? We have modernized a lot of things in Drupal 8 teaming. We have built HTML5 and CSS3 into Drupal 8 core. So no more 960 grid system or any bullshit like that. And the markup is pretty clean because of that. So we have audio elements and divs and tables and stuff. But because of HTML5 and CSS3, Drupal 8 won't support IE6, IE7, or IE8 anymore, which is a pretty good thing. Yeah. So there is actually a module which brings the support back, but please don't use it because we don't want to support those anymore. Also, the CSS has been taken to completely new levels by just cleaning it. And as you can see from the Drupal 7 body classes, there is no sidebars class, which is for the 960 grid system, which doesn't exist anymore. So we can remove all the stuff from the body. And also, the CSS have been built using Smack CSS and BEM, which is pretty awesome because now we have some architecture on our CSS. So it's a lot easier to maintain. And because of that, we have a lot of CSS files in our core teams. No more 2,000 rows tall styles.css files or anything like that. We have a lot of different CSS files, and there's some kind of architecture. No more madness while teaming Drupal 8 core. And not only the CSS file structure has changed, but the whole Drupal 8 file structure has changed. Because you don't have to anymore put your teams under sites or where the fuck is my team folder, where you actually cannot find your team. I can tell that I spent 2 days just trying to find my team from the folder because I don't know where it is. So now I can find my team from the teams folder, which is in the Drupal core folder. And that's pretty nice. Here's my team. And that's really good thing. So, and I really don't know why in a Drupal 7 you cannot put your team there. It's just some madness that we had. And also the templates have been moved to templates folder under the modules and teams. So no more teams folders or any other stupid stuff, because in Drupal 7 the template files used to be in everywhere. Like we had templates in the module root, we had templates in teams folder, and yeah, you never can find the templates also. And the templates are the default option for team functions. There's no more team functions used in Drupal 8. We have only 11 team functions left in Drupal 8, and so almost all the markup comes from the templates. And the base hook team implementation now loads the template automatically. So you don't have to add any additional lines just to load your templates. And they are automatically loaded from the templates folder. And the reason why we did this is that we have completely new theme layer in Drupal 8. And here's the picture of the Drupal 7 theme layer. Is there anyone who can understand what's happening here? If you can come here and speak instead of me, because I really don't know what's happening here. I think, yeah, that's really crazy. But in Drupal 8, what we have is something like this. A lot simpler, and you can actually figure out what's happening there, because you don't have to follow this crazy map everywhere. So we have basically just the pre-process. Of course, first the hook theme implementation, then we have the theme suggestion, and then comes the pre-process, and then we just load the template. And that's it. It's very simple, straightforward, easy to use. It's also easy to understand. And also, we brought to Drupal 8 a new template engine, which is Twig. This is Twig stuff that I'm talking for 5 minutes now. So if you are building any other CMSs or any other systems using Twig, you have this same stuff built in. This comes directly from the Twig core. So this is not Drupal specific. But I want to spend some time just to let you know what Twig has inside. And here's a markup example from PHP and Twig. Instead of saying print variable, in a Twig you just put those beautiful curly brackets and the variable, and it prints it. That's magic. And here's also an example how you add simple comment to PHP and Twig. You can also set the variables in your Twig template if you have some reason for that. We are using those a lot in the Twig template. I can show you later why. And also, accessing arrays has changed in a Twig. You don't have to do anymore this full I'm and boss long ass shit. Instead, we can skip the und. Does anyone know why we have the und in a template? We shouldn't have that there. OK, no one knows why we have und there. Yeah, so we just removed it. And also, accessing arrays and objects happens the same way. You just add the dot, and then it doesn't care about is it object or array. It just works. I don't know how. But then we have also really cool for loop in Twig. It has built-in stuff for theming, what you actually need when you build stuff to front end. Not like in a PHP, which is meant to for coders when they are building their backend stuff. And you can also do, by the way, this is really cool. I figured out this today. And you can just, if you want to add the no results found, you can just for else, and then it prints that as an empty result. And that's really, really good in the front end. But why the for loops are really good in a Twig template is that we get this stuff built inside. You don't have to do any math. In your template, you can just access the loop array there, and it gives you everything you need for theming. So you can access loop first, which is true if you are on the first object of the for, or you can accept loop last, which is true when you are on the last item of the for loop, or you can get the index of where you are if you want to, let's say, add classes for every for item. Or, yeah, you can do a lot of different stuff there. And that's really good. And this is out of the box from Twig. And then we have also Twig filters. And they are really good also. And they are meant for manipulating the content, or I mean a string or a text. And what this filter does, it just changes that text there to uppercase. And then I have another example of filter that is a length filter, and it just returns the length of the string. We have a lot of different filters built inside the Twig. I'm not going to talk about all of them. You can just download the slides. I will tweet it later. And you can just test all of them if you want. Then we have one very, very, very cool thing in a Twig, and it's Twig blocks. Please, this is different thing than Drupal blocks. They have the same term, but they are Twig blocks. And why Twig blocks are so cool is that you can actually extend the templates you have there. If you let's say want to change one thing for your front end, you can just create a block in the main template, and then you can extend and override that separate that specific block from the page template. So as an example here, I have a block which needs more kittens, and I want to add one more kitten on the front page. So I just print the original value by adding those curly brackets and parent, and then I add my kitten there. And what happens if I do this is on the other page, it will print just this block needs more kittens. And if you are on the front page, it will print the original value of the block and kitten. And of course, it will print everything that is also outside of this block. On your page.front file, you don't need anything else than this block. you are extending, and it will print everything else in the template. So let's say if you want to change something else in your template, as an example, you want to change the title from H1 to H4, then you just change it in the page.html twig, and you don't have to care about the template extending the original template. So it's a lot easier to maintain, because you don't have to do the changes for all the different templates. If you want to hear more stuff about the twig, just go to twig.sensiolabs.org, because this is twig stuff, no Drupal. Then I know there's people who don't like twig. This is what I think about PHP template now. You can still use it with Drupal 8 because it's in core, but please don't use it because it's a really hack. Then I want to also talk about the Drupal-specific twig functionalities, and this is Drupal. This is not what you can do on the other twig systems. By the way, we are putting this stuff to upstream to Twig because we are one of the biggest users in Twig. So we are inventing new stuff that Twig needs, and then we can just put it back to Twig. So someday this might be in your other Twig system using Twig. So it's really cool. But we have some Drupal-specific filters there, and one of them is clean class. We are using it for classes, so we can just escape the classes to be we can escape the strings to be classes. So if you have any special characters there, we just change them to dash. So let's say there is a slash, and then you run a clean class filter on the string on a variable. It will return the slash as a dash. Very simple. And then we have also a without filter, which can filter a array item with its value or its key. So let's say I want to print some array there, and I want to print it without some item in the array. Then I just do without, and it prints everything else out than that specific item. Then we have added a new class, HTML attributes class, which you can use for setting the HTML attributes for element. And it's really useful because we actually have a really simple way to maintain all the different HTML attributes. So you can just do, when you are printing the attributes, set attribute, and here I'm setting the ID attribute to be kitten. Or you can set attribute I love trees there if you want to do that. Or you can even remove attributes. So after that, if I add ID kitten there, and I remove attribute ID, then I don't have ID there anymore. So if you want to just kill everything out, you can just do remove attribute to everything. And then you can add your own stuff from there. Then we have also some specific functionality to build for classes, and we are using that a lot in core. We are putting almost all the classes with this. More about that will be later also. So you can just do your attributes add class, and it will add a new class for your attributes object there. And you can also remove classes, and that's also really good because if there's any unnecessary classes, you can just run remove class, and then the classes will die forever. Of course, because we are in Drupal, we care a lot about the translations. Thanks. More drama for my session. We need it. So of course we have to add translation to templates because there is some text you have to add sometimes in your template. And we have two ways to use translate. So we have the T function, which is actually a filter. And then we have this trans block, which you can use. You can just write your stuff there and add variables, and it somehow with the magic works. And this upper filter example is more like what we have in PHP. You can just add those add username, and then you can replace it later with a variable. It's really easy to use. And then we have added also a actually method to debug your front end, Twig debug. So you don't have to guess anymore where the templates are coming. It saves a lot of time because I'm pretty sure all the teamers have spent weeks just trying to locate their template. Where is this coming? because you can override it everywhere, and then you don't know which template it's actually loading. Then you're putting some stupid debug stuff there, and then you actually figure out which template it's loading. But in Drupal 8, we don't no more have that, because in the services.yaml, you can just set debug true. And it's work, and it's awesome because it returns this kind of stuff to your markup. So before we are printing a template, we just add some HTML comments, which helps you find your template and helps you override your template also. So here we have the text which tells us where the template is loading. So this template, this page template is loading from Bartik. And if you want to override that in our theme, we can just set page node HTML tweak. Or if we want to add some specific template for our front end, front page, then we just say page front.html.tweak. And it's really simple. And after that, when you flush cache and copy your template there, the bean output text actually changes to tell you which template it's loading. And then there is the X mark before the template name, which also tells you which file name suggestion we are using at the moment. So this helps themers a lot. And we should have this to Drupal 7 also, at least from my opinion. And there is issue for that. You can do it. It's RTBC now, so there's not that much to do. Hopefully it gets committed to Drupal 7 core to help Drupal 7 developers. In Drupal 8, we have also made the printing more secure just by adding auto escape. And the idea is in Drupal 8 that we auto escape all the things we put to template. And what I would most easily say how it works is it's some sort of context-aware auto escaping. We are trying to figure out what kind of stuff people want to print out of every variable, and then we just run the most appropriate escaping function for every variable. And we have three different methods to escape your markup, and we have isSafe, which doesn't do anything but marks your markup as a safe. This is used mostly in cases where you just put some static data from your PHP to template. Let's say you want to add one beer element there, and you don't have any data coming from the database. Then you just do safe markup is safe. And then it's marked safe, and that's it. Then we can print it in a template. Then we have the most strict one, which is safe markup escape. And this is basically check plain. So it removes everything. Then we have a little less strict check admin XSS. It removes only a script tag. But this is also something that we use very rarely and in very specific cases. There is some reason to use this. And how it works, we have this escape method there. And before we do anything for the variable, we check if the string has been set safe before, so we don't double auto escape the string. If it haven't been auto escaped before, then we do a string check plain for the string and return that. So if you are using the appropriate auto escape function to escape your data, then there shouldn't be any double auto escape issues. Please remember that if you run this escape method for your string and you manipulate the data later, then the isSafe isn't there anymore. So then we are doing it again, and then there is the double auto escaping issue, because then it goes to the check plain again. I think everyone is interested also about what is happening now. And this is about what is happening now. In DrupalCon Austin, we came into consensus what we still want to change for Drupal 8 frontend. And the consensus banana is something that makes Morten DK and John Albin both happy with the Drupal 8 theming. So we basically created two-step roadmap, what we are still changing. And the first step was move all classes to templates. So no more classes from a pre-process or any backend code. So all the templates from templates. And that's basically done. There's something like 3 issues left now, so it's almost ready. So we are working on the phase 2, which is classy. So the base one was about moving classes from pre-process. And why we did this is, if you can imagine this, think this is the real template you have in your Drupal 8. And you can just remove these. If you don't need a sticky class for something, you just delete it. You don't have to write again the role theme function. And it works. If you want to add your own stuff there, you can do whatever you want. You can just put there and say, my client sucks a lot. Oops, there is also. Yeah, so now I have a class, my client sucks a lot, because of course the client needs that class. It's the most important one. And you can do whatever. You can just remove everything from the template in your own team. But that's not all. That's not enough. We created a new base theme for Drupal 8, which is called Classy, which should have all the classes inside. So idea was that we move all the class logic from core modules to Classy theme. So if you don't want to have any classes on your theme for some reason, then you can just not extend Classy. And then you don't have any classes there. And actually, we have gone so forward with this. So we don't even use the core markup for the automated tests anymore, because it's not possible, because there's nothing. We just print the data out and there's nothing else. And because of that, because we are removing all the attributes and everything, we can remove all the unnecessary divs and other elements, because we don't want to have any empty elements there, empty div tags or anything. So we just remove them. And please remember, if you are creating new theme for your customer or whatever, please remember to extend Classy if you want to have your classes there. Because someday if you update your Drupal 8 and you are not extending Classy, your theme will completely broke, because there is no classes anymore then. I have one more bonus for you, and it's that we don't have any more hard-coded logo in Drupal 8. It comes from a block. And also, the menu is a block now, so no more hard-coded menu to a template, which is really awesome. If you want to help us, RC1 means markup freeze for us. So the tweak initiative is basically dead then. We cannot change anything after that. So so before RC1, we have a lot to done, and we have a lot of time still, because the RC1 isn't coming. It's not knocking our doors yet. Next sprint will be at KWD at 21st of November. Please come there if you want to help. We will help you get started. Everyone is welcome. And that's it. OK, yeah, I'm missing a slide. There should be a question slide, but you don't have to care about that. So if you have any questions, you can now ask, because that was pretty fast, I know, but there's a lot to talk about. So I wanted to tell you everything, but yeah, on a very high level. So please ask now if there's anything you want to ask about. I want questions.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
About the classy stuff. So Classy is the one that provides all the classes and so on. So if you make a team without Classy as a base team, it's a really simple one. Do you have any use cases where you would want that?
So the question was that, is there any use case where we wouldn't want to use Classy as a base team, because from the core there is no markup coming at all? And yes, I think there is, because in a Drupal 7, I think almost all the base teams are trying to just remove the unnecessary stuff coming from the Drupal 7 markup. So now, if you want to build a Bootstrap base theme for Drupal 8, it's really easy to build that, because you can just add your own stuff, what you need, instead of first removing all the Drupal 7 shit and then adding your own stuff. So I think it creates more opportunities for other base teams. I'm not sure if there's any use case where you would just want to extend the core markup by itself, but it makes it easier for the other base teams. That is my answer for that question.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Yeah?
Is it going to be hard to update from Drupal 7 to 8? Do you have any migration plan, or? I mean, it seems like a lot of the core functionality has changed.
Okay, the question was, is it hard to port your Drupal 7 team to Drupal 8? We have built an automated tool to port your Drupal 7 team to Drupal 8 team, but it doesn't work that well because a lot has changed. So it can port a very simple team to Drupal 8. But basically, you have to rewrite it completely. And we are working on the tool. By the way, there is also a tool to port your Drupal 7 module to Drupal 8 automatically. That's a really good one. And we are doing the same for the teams. So it's going to be hard, but it's what it is. And you can, of course, use the PHP template if you want. Any other questions? We have still time for some questions. Yeah?
So if you were going to start the project now, do you recommend using 7 or wait for 8?
I personally would use Drupal 8 now. But of course, you need to know what is still going to change. And yeah, we are still missing some big contrips. So you have to also handle that somehow. So it depends, of course, of the project. But if I would have a project that would fit good to Drupal 8, then I 100% sure would start it with Drupal 8.
How do you know if a project fits with this Drupal 8?
Yeah, because the problem is the contrips. And you have to, if you have some idea what you need to build, then you can check if the contrips are already on Drupal 8. They are telling pretty openly on the module page the status of Drupal 8 module there. So just check the module pages if they have Drupal 8 module already. I can say that the rules module is almost done for Drupal 8, but as an example, organic groups and commerce are missing from Drupal 8. So if you need to build a commerce site, I never would start it with the Drupal 8 yet, because there's no commerce. Any other questions? Yeah?
How will the updates of Drupal core change in Drupal 8? Because you mentioned that there's that you can put the team files anywhere, or they have their own files, but in Drupal 7 everything is inside the sites folder. And then you just delete everything else and then copy over the core files over them.
Do you mean upgrading from a major release from Drupal 7 to Drupal 8 or between minor releases? Okay, the question was how we handle updates in Drupal 8 because of the file structure has changed. And the answer is that we have made it actually more simple. We have core folder in the Drupal root, and you just remove the whole core folder, and then you replace it with new core folder. So you don't have to care about anything else. Yes. Anything else? Then I think, yeah.
One more.
Yes.
When's the Drupal 8 actually going to be ready?
That's a very, my answer is this, but I can, I had a presentation in Drupal Cafe where I mentioned that we have 70 issues left there. We had almost 200 beta blockers in our alpha phase, and it took us 9 months to solve that. And with the same speed, it would be something like 7 months or whatever. So I really don't know, and you never.
7 months until release candidate.
Yeah, until release candidate. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then if any criticals are found on the release candidate page, then the new release candidate has to be released. But please never base any of your business decisions on any Drupal 8 date, because no one really knows what's happening. We will release it when it's ready. Any other questions? I think that is a very good question to stop. Yes, thank you.
So, my name is Antti. been building Drupal stuff from 2007, and today I decided to talk about how to not build Drupal stuff, and I can speak for this project because I have been doing it and also planning it, but not actually developing it for 2 years. And now when I got the project back, I need to start to fix things, and these are my findings, what I have been now finding what we need to fix. And here are my topics for today. So talking about views, content types, fields, node queues, image styles, some multilingual stuff, titles and view modes. They are familiar all to Drupal developers, but I guess here are some new beginners also. Raise your hands so I can, okay, you, okay, good. So some topics also new for you. So first thing is about machine name vs human names. Every time you create like content type or view, they are given a machine name, and the machine name is also visible in most cases. So when you give it a name, there might be places where you don't want to do good example, news. Say it's news. Don't create a view called front page news or something like that, because they are all visible in the themes and templates, and also in the source code when you see the source code of the generated HTML. Also the image style names, they will generate paths. Panel pages, they are also visible for you, and actually all machine names what you write, somebody can see from the source code about those. Also the actual theme name is also visible. So let's go to the basic examples. In this project there is view, which name is view pane 1. It's the machine name. It has something human readable name also, but the view pane 1 says nothing when you are looking afterwards what it might be doing for you. And also there is name front page new highlighted. It might be now too specific. So what I'm now trying to say here is that we could use view names like topical or news and use when we are generating blocks or view panes of them, we could use announcements, features, hot or archive. So the reason why we are generating that views is the most important stuff, not where we are publishing the views. So like the news listing, usually on the generated HTML we might display it on the front page sidebar, but we don't generate the views based on the place of the front page sidebar. We just generate why we generate the reason for it. It's views featured, so on. Okay, one view per content type. We have, let's say, the news, it's content type. So every views used on the site should be in that one view, and that one view could have multiple displays inside that one big view, so they are in one general place where you can find, and not to generate news, taxonomy, service page view, news, front page service view, or whatever. You will get too many views. And the pro tip for this one. Usually in project people generate stuff so that they are very specific for that one piece of thing what they need to display. And I have found that in many cases and in many projects the content listings of stuff, they should be similar in the look and feel, so they should also behave similarly. So why generate those all views differently? When using panels or panoply, we could just generate one view with no limit of the content type. So with that one view you could get your data from frequently asked questions, news, topics, any other content, and you can configure it in the panoply how do you display it per the view panes. So there's no need to generate 50 of those views. You could generate one view and use it generally. Okay, fields. In our project we have been using Scald. It's good for media management, but you could use it also very wrong. And as the field names tell you, they are in every content type there is now field, and you can see from the field name also the content type and the purpose, like field news atom image or field event atom image. And my question is now that why we shouldn't use only like field media or field image and use the field instances and shared fields, which is very generic for Drupal 7, that you can use one field in multiple content types and differentiates the configuration per content type or per usage. Only one reason to use separate fields is if you have two image fields in one content type. Okay, and these fields in Drupal 7, they also generate new tables to database. So that's also one good reason to limit generating those fields. Then we have field event homepage, field event link. And now I'm crapping my head and what the fuck is happening. They are looking very similar, and now I need to go to the content types and see what is the reason why we have link and homepage, what are their purposes. And when I'm generating a view of those, I need to grab also what's happening. So when generating the machine name of some field, try to think really the purpose for it. So it's also so specific that you can remember it afterwards. And it goes also, we have two content types, share similar data. In other one we have field phone number, and in other one field cell number. And the reason for that was that there is a field collection of type. In the second is just phone number, and the field phone number is field collection, and it's grouping that field cell number in the field group module. So just asking that could we use field group telephone for the naming in the first instance, and in the second one we could use field cell number or field phone number. This kind of open discussion for this one. Node queues. Again, the same topic like in the views. When you create a node queue, try to think the reason why you are generating the node queue, not where you are going to use it. In our project there is front page box 1, front page box 2 node queues, which are names front page new highlighted, the machine name, and lift queue for the second one. And if our concept changes, then the front page box 1 and front page box 2 node queues, they are not good naming anymore. So again, the reason, not the place as general naming. Yeah. Okay, image styles. We have ajankohtaista crop and short person card. So every tall people are now generated through short person card image style. Really good. And also in the very beginning we said that we should use English as machine names every time, but we are still having problems that there is ajankohtaista crop as machine name. So the path for the generated image is ajankohtaista underscore crop, and the short person card is also. So what I was success is that we could use like just full, half, thumbnail, half width, whatever, not so specific and not content type specific image names, image style names. Okay, my favorite topic at this project, multilingual. It's hard in Drupal 7, and when you do it completely wrong, it will be really, really hard to do it other ways. So somebody in the early stage of the project decided that we don't use multilingual project, but we created the project so that we completely removed the English and used Finnish instead. So every content type name, field labels, they were in Finnish. Views were in Finnish, and so on. And the client decided that now we are starting to generate project on this distribution, and they are multilingual. So then we need to decide that do we generate a complete new translation based on our Finnish and extended as English. But because Drupal is natively English, we decided that that is not good way, that then we will have it Drupal 7 English and our version of that overriding it. So we took all the machine names, all the views, got all the D functions and replaced them by the English terms, and then translated them to Finnish and Swedish and got back in track. Also the strings, when you are finding something to translate, put English as the base string. So then when you are starting to find strings what to translate, you will find them from the Drupal core, and you don't need to try to find them from your Finnish translations. So it will be more easy to maintain the language packages. Okay, and also in the early stage of project, all the panel pages or the view pages what were generated, and also the front page, they were generated as Finnish paths. So we had etusivu, we had uutiset, and now when we have the site so that it's multilingual, but the paths are in Finnish, so now we are again in a mismatch situation that from which string to where we need to translate things. So even in the beginning we could have helped us a lot if we have just used English as a base and translate all the paths to Finnish, even though we never used the English in first. It would be much more easy. Titles. Okay, when you're using multilingual, you should use the title field, of course, but in this project I have found also that there is lots of places where you can put your titles. One good place is Viv. It has the header region, and you could write in the header region your your headlines in pure HTML. And when the Viv is attached to Viv pane, or even through mini panel, through Viv pane to page manager, you are in 4 level deep trying to find where the fuck is my title. So when generating a Viv or generating any kind of allow that the title could be overridden in the very first level, like in panel panes or in the block titles, and not in very deep. And like in this situation where it's hidden in the Viv header region, there's HTML also in there, so it's kind of really bad even trying to translate it to other string. Okay, Viv modes. When generating listings of stuff, it's easy to extend Drupal core Viv modes. They are full, teaser, and RSS, search index, and search results, and tokens. There are 5 or 6 at the moment, but entity view mode module can extend them easily. So you can generate your modes like short e-person card, short person card, short events, short news, short title. And now I have been thinking that why on earth somebody has generated it with modes, because teaser is already existing in Drupal core, and now just adding some more configuration on top of it, they are now named like short e-person card, and it can be even used in multiple content types. So completely mismatch in all the way around. So again, why not using featured, teaser, title, full as view modes and use them in all content types, and if there is really some special case, then generate a new view mode, but try to be using those Drupal core ones till end. And if you need to create one, use announcement or something more generic, but there's a reason for that, not content type specific naming for it. Okay, we have been using Panoply. No, we have been using some parts of Panoply, but panels as a base for content editors to build their stuff. And when we are creating a new page, and there's a pane where you can take data, like some div, there's an option that what are the default content to choose from, and I would suggest that you completely take all defaults off and allow only those that you have designed, because when the content administrators or content editors come and try to add new news listing to some page, they don't need to choose from 150 different core options the data, but there is only those that you have designed in this project. So disable all the defaults and add only those that you have designed. And when you design views or view panes, add them to specific categories. So when you are finding the stuff from the listings, they are categorized in correct places, and not there's naming in some are organized in näyttöpaneelit, some are organized in view pane, and some are organized in view panels. So in our project, the developers has generated 3 like good categories, but they are completely wrong names. View pane, view panels, and näyttöpaneelit, they should be something like news or something else. They are just confusing at the moment. Okay, not related to our project, but context plus blocks. When using context module, don't use Drupal blocks, because they get mismatched with the height, with the weight value, so you cannot control fully which blocks are coming in which order to your generated HTML. So use another one, not both. Okay, but how we have now tried to fix all these things. Larry Garfield has written an excellent blog article. It's now about 1 year old. It's developing Drupal sites plan of parish. Read it. There is an Excel template for you where you can make inventory of your Drupal installation. There is places for your views, places for your fields, places for your pages, and you can document them so easily that the next person, when it comes to your project, you can just give the template or the Excel for him and start using it. It's very good. So these are my findings from this project, and we are now trying to get our first client in multilingual installation on top of this project. Thank you. Any questions? Yep.
This might not have anything to do with Drupal per se, but I was thinking when you discussed the multilingual stuff, do you have it affect a lot of programmers who do not use English as the base language? Is it common?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it's common. But what I've been using in every project where I've been using open source stuff, of course, I have suggested that we use English as a base when we comment stuff and when we generate code. And
I didn't realize it was kind of a big issue.
it's really, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's more easy to get coders to contribute when the code base is also in English.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Any debate of my findings? Have you find similar issues with your project? Okay.
When you change the machine names from Finnish to English,
Yep.
what kind of tools do you use? I mean, it might confuse the database quite a lot if you start mixing these names.
Yeah, it did, and also the all weaves, when they were related on the Finnish name, we need to generate also those again. It was just find and replace. And Drush has a good registry rebuild plugin that every time we change something or change the place for some module, we run Drush registry rebuild, so we could fix the database also and the system registry of Drupal. Yeah. But it's not funny. And all the labels, we have one content type with about 70 fields, and they are all in Finnish in the first situation. You would grab them all, change them to English, and then you get the T functions. Then you translate them. Not good. Okay, some others. Thank you.
Mikäs meidän yleistila on? Onko meillä nyt suomeksi?
Okay. A few minutes about Verso. We're a company based, basically we started out in Turku, now operating in a lot in Helsinki at least. We've got a lot of clients in Helsinki. What we actually do is we sell a software as a service for companies to manage their corporate responsibility issues, how to actually what our clients are actually doing, what good actions they're doing, on how they're actually handling their environmental stuff, environmental issues, or their employees, or things like these. So basically, we provide solutions for that on how to manage the stuff, and also on how to communicate the stuff to your stakeholders. Yeah, so we started out about 4 years ago in Turku. Didn't do anything with Drupal at the beginning. Started with Drupal 2012, so about 2 years ago. And that's when we basically started to build this software as a service platform that we're actually selling. And it took a long time to actually develop it. I think we budgeted about 4 to 5 months, and it took like almost 3 or 4 times that. Didn't really realize how big of a project it actually was to actually get this done. But now it's up and running. We've been selling it. We've got some tens of clients here in Finland, some in Germany and in Austria, and just now this year got a client in Abu Dhabi as well, which brings a nice right to left element to the whole platform as well, because they don't use the same letters or even write from the same direction. So what a nice little exercise for us as well. I know basically almost nothing about Drupal, so this is not a technical demonstration or presentation. I'm basically the product owner on Verso's side, and we're developing everything together with Eskola in Helsinki and in Tallinn. And yes, we do have English as a base language. That's something I took away from the last presentation. Let's see. Nothing happens here. Here we go. A bit too much. Just a couple of slides that are not really working, but just wanted to first explain on what we actually do. There's 4 different things that we actually do. One is the CR management, corporate responsibility. Not sure if that actually says a lot to all the people here, but basically it's your environmental stuff, personnel and communities, on how you actually function as an organization. How to manage those stuff, that's where our software helps, and how to communicate those stuff internally or externally, how to monitor and analyze on what actually matters to your stakeholders, or monitor your own KPIs and stuff like that. And the last one is kind of an open innovation that's not actually ready yet. It's something that we're actually working on at the moment, on how to actually involve your stakeholders in innovating new things. Basically goes quite close to Drupal's and the whole open source community on how to actually use the crowds to make something new. Just a few key benefits on why would someone actually buy our product. Save money is one of the biggest ones, of course. Well, there's a couple of clients that are using our software, using our platform for their CR management. Then I thought I would just briefly show the actual platform, the product, how it actually works. I'm not sure if these terms are at all correct or anything, but something I spoke with our developer at Eskola, and basically I think we're using about 100 100 plus domains on one server. We've got quite a lot of data, and that's caused a few problems for our in the development as well. Well, if I'll actually show this one, I think, yeah. There's quite a lot of nodes in our system. All of our clients have their own system, and there's a lot of navigation elements. These all need to be here on this navigation, and it's caused us some problems with the performance as well. It's quite good at the moment. It's really good now compared to what it was, for example, 1 year ago. We had big issues with the performance then, but now working really good. I don't really know about all the modules we're using. I do know that we're using quite a bit of ready-made modules on our site. We've modified some of them, using some of them as they are from the community as well. Let's see. Well, basically what our clients then, what the clients stakeholders, what they see, this is the kind of the site they're building, a site where they actually communicate their actions. And got a lot of text and some KPIs there as well from here. Let's see. And this is basically the other side of the whole product, on how they actually manage their stuff. We're using a Solar server that actually displays other users' content here as well, that you can scroll or see what other people have done on the same issues. Let's see. Oh, I can't hit it. There. We're providing assists for our clients on how to actually compile all their stuff into the platform, into the product. And I think most of these are kind of basic modules. Over here, some comment elements as well. KPIs. Well, don't actually have maps here. That's pretty much on what the actual product looks like, what it actually does. And well, I think I haven't used all my minutes yet, probably not the whole 10 minutes, but I think that's, in brief, that's pretty much what we actually do and how it kind of relates to Drupal. And we've been kind of, we've been really satisfied with Drupal. We're doing a lot of development for at least for the next couple of years. Got a lot of new features and actually new products as well in the pipeline, and have been planning to use Drupal for that as well. Currently, I think we have like about 500 users in all. I think, yeah, about 500 users as in persons, and about 200 to 300 domains. So basically client domains. And in the future, it's probably going to be a whole lot more on one actual platform, and that's something that we're actually wondering at the moment on how to actually build that, but not related to this product. What else? I'm not sure what else I could tell you. Any questions on what we've done or how it works? Or not, if not questions, any comments? Or any noise at all? It's a bit too quiet now. I'm getting nervous here.
Yeah. All right, so if there's no question.
So I'm ending today, so I'm trying to be quick so that you can get to the bar as soon as possible. Yeah. The main thing. So I'm Sanna Moisala from City of Turku, and I've been working as an editor-in-chief there for about a decade, and now I'm a project manager of this DriveTurku program. We are trying to build a new website and a lot of other stuff. So this is what we are trying to do. We're trying to do mobile first. Finally, we got the Turku fee site at mobile, and then we're gonna use geographical information more better than we do today. So basically there's the website, the calendar, my Turku account, and then there's the e-work desk for the work process for the employees that we are going to renew in 1 year. So we are going to run really fast. And so we know that this isn't going to end in 2015, but we have the basic structure together. And I'm here because we are working with Drupal. We made the decision in 2012 that we want to do open source, and then Drupal was the only option that we could find that would suit our needs best. So this is the basics, what we are doing, to get you an idea. So I don't know if anyone have ever used Felicite. That was published in June. That was the first of the pilots, and now they're building the route planner for that site that we are going to use all over the Turku fee site. And now we had a 5-hour meeting today with our Drupal workers from Wunderkraut and Druid, and then Avoltus. They are all here. We've been sitting with these guys for 5 hours today. So we are planning what we're going to do with the Turku fee site. And then the My Turku account will be the gray area here, which is Tiera is responsible for that. And we are now having also these commercial components that are now we are trying to find those who are working with them. And Affecto is also working with our eDesk systems. So this is the basic of what DriveTurku is trying to do. I'm going to open it a little bit bigger so you get an idea. This is unfortunately in Finnish, but you get a basic idea what is going to happen to Turku fee site. The service map is one that we are going to build with in the core ideas of Helsinki. So we are going to use the same REST surfaces, etc., so that data will be can be used properly from now on. So here are our suppliers, our teams, and Tiera is in charge of I'm losing all the words, I'm sorry. Tiera is in charge of the communication or the account base that which gathers all the information from the city, so e-government, commerce, etc., for the users. And for digital components is on the way. So this is what we are doing. We are starting to learn with Scrum, and we are not very good at it. So we take a lot of ideas and a lot of your enthusiasm and a lot of knowledge that you can give us, and our team will have to help us to develop this idea. This is the timetable that we are having right now. We got through this today, and it's going to change rapidly, but probably in the beginning of the year we can get something done also on site, and by the end of March maybe we'll have something that you can hopefully comment and give ideas what we could do a lot better. But here basically new web service with Drupal, service map which is integrated to the map, and also journey planner which is now done in Germany at the moment, new Turku calendar, my account. Those are the basics that can be shown to everybody, and then hopefully we have a lot of REST and open data to give so you can develop new things. So I had 2 minutes and I stumbled across them, so you can get to the bar. This is like shortly. I have nothing to show you, maybe in a few months. Jyri-Petteri is smiling here, maybe in 6 months at least. But maybe then, this is now in the beginning. Today we have shared who's going to do what, and not to tell out loud yet, but we are going to work hard for the next year to have something great with your taxpayers' money. So because that's basically how it's done. So that's why we want to share everything we can with you and with Drupal community, because we are using your money. So that's anything. This is very short, very quickly. Do you have any questions? No? Thank you. Let's go to a bar. So we can be found from blog and then on Twitter as well if you have comments. And please be active. If you have any ideas, please send them to us, because we want to do it with you. We want to cooperate and we want to be innovative and so on. So any great ideas and good benchmarks and everything are most welcome. So please be active. So thank you.